Welcome back, everybody. Today, we're going to be diving into something pretty cool. It's all about encouragement and how it can help us, navigate those tough parts of life. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So we're looking at this talk. It's called Legacy of Encouragement. It's by President Henry B. Eyring.
Mm-hmm.
And it's from the October 2022 General Conference of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Now, even if you're not familiar with that,
Right.
stick around, because this isn't just like a religious thing. you
Yeah.
know? It's really about how encouragement helps all of us face those curveballs that life throws our way.
Absolutely. And I think, the way that President Eyring weaves together these personal stories and this message of faith and hope and love is really something that, gets you thinking.
Yeah, for sure. One thing that really stood out to me was how his mother viewed challenges. It was like she didn't see them as setbacks, but
Yeah.
as these stepping stones that could actually bring you closer to something bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
Have a cool way to look at things, huh?
Yeah, a real mind shift. And what's so interesting is her reaction to hardship. It's not that she's denying it or anything, but there's this sense of calm acceptance, even joy in facing it. It's like she understands that difficulty is just part of the journey. It's a chance to grow and learn.
I love that that's so powerful. I think we all get so caught up in wanting to avoid the tough stuff.
Yeah.
But maybe it's more about finding the strength to go through it,
Yeah.
not around it.
You got it.
Yeah.
And President Eyring actually, brings in these words from Mormon in Moroni chapter 7.
Mm.
He talks about faith, meekness, and hope, and how they all kind of work together when things get rough. Now, I know, meekness, that might sound a little old-fashioned these days.
Yeah, it's not really a word you hear every day.
Right. But,
Yeah.
Mormons saw it as a source of strength, not weakness. It's about recognizing that we don't have all the answers, that we need help sometimes, and that's okay.
Yeah, so it's not about being a pushover,
Mm.
but more like being humble enough to lean on others when you need to.
Exactly. Admitting you need help can actually make you stronger. I don't know about you, but I'm still processing that one.
You too?
It's deep.
Yeah. Okay, so there's this other big idea here, this idea of charity, or you could say pure love. And President Eyring talks about how this love really helped his mother through so many trials, and she actually became a better person because of them. It was like that love had this transformative power,
Yeah, it's amazing. It makes you think, what does that actually look like? What does this pure love look like? And, President Eyring goes on to explain that it's patient, it doesn't hold grudges, it's the kind of love that really helps us get through the tough times and come out stronger on the other side.
Yeah, and he uses this really beautiful quote from Moroni 7 to describe it. But I think it basically boils down to unconditional love, doesn't it?
It does. It's
Yeah.
that love that helps us not just endure, but actually become better because of the challenges we face.
Absolutely. And what I appreciate is it's not just theory with President Eyring. He really brings this to life by talking about the encouraging people in his own life.
Yeah.
Especially his wife. Though he doesn't really go into specifics, you could just tell that she had a huge impact on him.
Yeah.
It really made me think about the encouraging figures in my own life.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, who are those people for you? What qualities make them such a source of strength? Think about how they've helped you through tough times.
It's pretty amazing when you stop and think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of makes me wonder, how can we be that encouraging presence for others? Because, President Eyring doesn't just leave it at personal stories. He actually challenges us to be like the savior in how we treat each other.
He really does.
Yeah.
It's about offering support, noticing progress,
Yeah.
setting a good example, you
Yeah.
know? It's not about these grand gestures. It's those everyday acts of kindness that can make a real difference.
Totally, like a listening ear, a word of encouragement, a genuine compliment. Those little things can go a long way, and we can all do that no matter what we believe.
You got it.
Yeah.
It's about being present, really seeing people, and letting them know that their efforts are appreciated.
I love that, and I love how he frames even religious stuff, like commandments and covenants, as gifts meant to uplift us.
Yeah, he's saying they're not about controlling us, but about guiding us towards something better.
Yeah, so even if you don't see it through a religious lens, it's like having these positive principles that help you live a more fulfilling life, right? Whether it's faith, personal values, or just wanting to be a good person,
Yeah.
it gives you a sense of purpose.
Exactly. And that sense of purpose can be so empowering, especially when you're facing tough times. It's like a reminder that you're not alone, that there's a reason for your struggles, and that you have the strength to overcome them.
So it seems like it's all about finding that balance between personal growth and supporting others. knowing when to ask for help and when to offer it.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
It's this beautiful dance of giving and receiving, of recognizing our shared humanity and the power we have to lift each other up. And it all starts with cultivating that spirit of encouragement within ourselves.
Okay, so here's the big question. How do we actually do that?
Yeah.
Especially when we're the ones feeling discouraged. Because life throws curveballs,
Yeah.
and it's easy to lose that hopeful spirit.
It is, and that's actually what we'll explore as we continue our deep dive
Yeah.
into legacy of encouragement.
Yeah, stay tuned. So we're talking about like how to cultivate that encouraging spirit, right?
Yeah.
Even when we're the ones feeling a little bit down. Not always the easiest thing.
No, not always.
But remember President Eyring's mom. She faced some pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah.
But she still held on to that hope, Even joy, that's got to be inspiring.
It is.
So how do we like tap into that kind of inner strength? One thing that really hit me was this idea of faith. And not necessarily in like a religious way,
Yeah.
but faith in something bigger than yourself, something that gives you that purpose and meaning.
I think that's a great point. It could be faith in a higher power, faith in humanity, or even just faith in your own ability to get through tough times. Whatever it is, that belief can be a real anchor when things get rough.
Yeah, it's like having that compass that points you in the right direction, even when the path ahead is kind of foggy.
Yeah.
And that connects back to that idea of meekness, right? Like knowing you don't have all the answers, being okay with asking for help, drawing strength from something beyond yourself.
You got it.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that we're all interconnected, part of something bigger. And then there's hope, that like unwavering belief that things can and will get better. Even when you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, you just know it's there.
It's about choosing to focus on the positive, right? Even when things are hard. Not ignoring the negative, but actively looking for the good. Noticing that progress, celebrating those little victories.
And when you do that, you kind of shift your perspective. You create a more positive outlook. And that opens you up to like growth and transformation. Remember that description of charity. It's not just about enduring. It's about believing, hoping, and rejoicing in the truth. It's like the fuel that keeps your spirit going strong, even when the winds are against you.
All right, so let's get practical for a second. How do we actually put this into action?
Yeah.
President Eyring talks about being like the Savior and how we treat others, like offering support, noticing progress, being a good example. But what does that actually look like day to day?
It's about being present, truly seeing the people around you, like something as simple as, hey, I noticed you're working hard on that, or I'm really proud of how far you've come. That can be huge for someone who's facing a challenge.
Yeah, it's like giving them that little boost of confidence, reminding them that someone sees them and appreciates their efforts, especially in a world where we're all so busy and focused on ourselves. It's easy to forget to like look up and see those around us.
Exactly. And it's not just about praise. It's about offering genuine support, maybe lending a listening ear, helping with a task, or just being there for someone who's going through a tough time.
Those are all things we can do, regardless of our beliefs or background.
Yeah.
Like just little acts of kindness. They can make a world of difference.
It really is pretty powerful.
Yeah.
And it all goes back to cultivating that spirit of encouragement within ourselves first. Because when we're filled with that spirit, it naturally spills over into our interactions with others.
Okay, so how do we keep that spirit alive, even when we're the ones feeling discouraged? Because let's be real, life throws some serious curveballs, How do we find that resilience, that inner strength to keep going when things get tough?
Because President Eyring doesn't sugarcoat it. He acknowledges that life is full of challenges.
He does, and that's a question we'll dive into deeper as we wrap up our deep dive into legacy of encouragement. Okay, so we've been talking about this idea of cultivating that encouraging spirit, even when we're the ones feeling down. It's kind of like, how do you give encouragement when you need it yourself, right?
Right, it's a real challenge. Because life can definitely knock you off balance.
For sure, for sure. So what are some like tangible things we can do to build that resilience, that inner strength when things get tough?
Well, President Eyring's mother is such a powerful example. I mean, despite facing incredible hardship, she held on to hope and even found joy. It's like, where did that strength come from?
Yeah, I think a big part of it was her faith. And not just in like a religious context, but that deep down belief in something larger than herself.
Yeah.
It gave her a sense of purpose, a reason to keep going.
Exactly. And that's something we can all cultivate, right? Whether it's faith in a higher power, faith in humanity, or even just faith in our own ability to overcome challenges.
It's like knowing you're part of something bigger, that your struggles have meaning, And it reminds me of that idea of meekness we talked about, recognizing that we don't have to go it alone, that it's okay to ask for help, to lean on others.
It's about tapping into that interconnectedness, that shared human experience. And then there's hope, that unwavering belief that things can and will get better, even when it feels like you're in the middle of a storm.
I love that. Like, even when you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, you know it's there.
Exactly. And that's where choosing to focus on the positive comes in. It's not about ignoring the negative or pretending everything's perfect, but actively looking for the good, noticing progress, celebrating those small victories.
It's like training your mind to see the possibilities instead of getting stuck in the problems.
And when you do that, you kind of shift your perspective. You create a more positive outlook and open yourself up to growth and transformation. Remember that beautiful description of charity from Roni 7? It's not just about enduring. It's about believing, hoping, and rejoicing in the truth.
That's what fuels our spirit, helps us rise above the challenges.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this deep dive into legacy of encouragement, what's resonating with you? What are you taking away from all this?
You know, I think for me, it's that reminder that encouragement is more than just words. It's a force that can change lives. It's about seeing the good in ourselves and others and choosing to act on it, even in small ways.
Beautifully said. And remember, you don't have to have it all figured out. To be an encourager, it's about those small acts of kindness, those moments of genuine connection. That can make all the difference.
So as you go about your day, think about the people in your life who need a little encouragement. Maybe it's a friend who's struggling, a family member who needs a boost, or even a stranger who could use a smile.
And don't forget about yourself. Be kind to yourself, celebrate your own progress, and remember that you have the strength within you to overcome any obstacle.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Legacy of Encouragement. We hope you'll carry this message with you and find ways to build your own legacy of encouragement, one act of kindness at a time.